In today's lecture, we are going to talk about vector calculus. So we have already seen differential elements in length, area, volume are useful in vector calculus. So they are defined in Cartesian, cylindrical and spherical coordinate system. The familiar concept of integration will now be intended to case when the integration involves a vector. Okay, so by a line we mean a path along a curve in space. We shall use terms such as line or a curve and contour interchangeably. Okay, so the line integral E dot dl for a for a line C or for a curve C is the integral on the tangent component of E. If you will see this diagram over here, it's a tangent to the E along the curve C. Okay, and we defined it as A to B. I am just pointing it from A to B. Okay, and magnitude of E cos theta dl. We have seen that dot product of two vectors is given by magnitude cos theta. Okay, so a vector E and a curve C will define this integral and as line integral of E around C. If the path of integration is closed curve like this, it's a closed curve and electrical field is passing into it or through it, such as the equation becomes a closed contour integration, which is called as circulation of E around C. Okay, so the closed contour integration is circulation of E around curve C. Okay, now giving a vector field A continuous in a region containing a smooth surface S, we define surface integral of flux A through S as magnitude of A cos theta ds. Okay, where at any point S is and S at any point S an, this an is unit vector to S, so it's a unit vector to S. And for a closed surface, define a volume becomes closed surface integral, which is referred as net outward flux of A from S. Notice that a closed path defines an open surface, whereas closed path defines volume. So it is volume and this is flux. Closed path defines surface defines volume. Okay, now we define integral FV dV, means volume integral, as volume integral of scalar F over volume V. Okay, the physical meaning of line integral and volume integral depends on nature of physical quantity represented by this E or this F. Okay, note that dl, sl and dv are all defined for different coordinate system already. We have defined all volume, segment, line and surface differential for all three coordinate system already. Okay, so volume integral of scalar function f over a volume v. Okay, so the evaluation of this integral can be carried out as a sum of three scalar volume integral, where each scalar volume integral is a component of vector f. This is my vector f. Okay, so this is basic about line, surface and volume integral. So integral we will see in next lecture also, integration of vectors. Now I will just jump to differentiation of vectors first. Okay, we have seen addition, subtraction, it's algebra of vectors we have already done. Now we are on vector calculus part. In that we have first seen integral, little bit introduction about integral values. Okay, line, surface and volume. Now we will move toward differentiation of vector. Okay, in that the del operator or the vector differential operator is del operator, and in Cartesian system it is defined del by partial differentiation of x in the direction of x plus partial differentiation of y with unit vector y plus partial differentiation of z with z unit vector. So this vector differential operator otherwise is also known as gradient operator. Okay, so this operator is also called gradient operator. It is not a vector in itself, okay, but it is a scalar function. The operator is useful in finding the gradient of scalar or diversion of vector A or curl of vector A or even Laplacian of scalar. Each of these will be defined in detail in the subsequent slides. Before we do that, it is appropriate to obtain expression for del operator in cylindrical and spherical coordinates. This is easily done by using transformation formulas. So del in cylindrical coordinate system r phi, z we know is equivalent to rectangular coordinate system z coordinate. Okay, so we will just take two dimensional and then we can convert into 3-dimensional calculation as well. So when we partially differentiate r with respect to x, we will get it is equals to cos phi. Similarly, we will find partial differentiation of phi with respect to x, partial differentiation of r with respect to y, partial differentiation of phi with respect to y. Okay, why we are finding that? We know that in the formula we were having, if you will see, we were having partial differentiation with respect to x. So now we have to find out partial differentiation with respect to x, but we are in cylindrical coordinate system where we work with r, phi and z. So for that I will multiply and divide with r and as well as for phi, from phi. So I will get partial differentiation of x. Similarly for y, and we have seen in cylindrical coordinate systems that x hat is equals to cos phi r unit vector minus sin phi hat, y hat is equals to sin phi r hat plus cos phi hat. Okay, so these three things we will needed to get del operator and cylindrical coordinate system. This is already defined, this we have calculated, this is defined, this we have just multiply and divide with same quantity. Okay, so this is my del operator formula in rectangular system. So I will put the value of partial differentiation of x, which is we have multiplied with r and r. Okay, and then we have put the value of x unit vector. Similarly for partial differentiation for y, and then again we will put the value of y unit vector, and same for z. Now in this dr by d phi we have calculated, okay, in last slide. So we will put the values of those also, d phi by dx, dr by dy, d phi by dy, partial differentiation of phi with respect to y. Okay, so we put all the values and we can calculate the value of del operator in cylindrical coordinate system. So its formula is partial differentiation of r unit vector plus 1 by r, partial differentiation with respect to phi unit vector, partial differentiation of z unit vector. Okay, so from the point of 2-point transformation, partial differentiation with respect to x and y yields. Now plugging these in chain of rules of differentiation formula and making use of unit vector transformation from Cartesian to cylindrical, we get, and which is the desired result. This one is my desired result. Okay, then next is del in spherical coordinate system. Again we will define r, theta and phi in terms of Cartesian coordinates. Then we will differentiate them with respect to x, y and z, each of terms individually. Then we will find partial differentiation x, y and z in terms of cylindrical coordinates. Then we have seen in spherical coordinate system also. So again we will put the value of each quantity independently, and then we will put the value of partial differentiations. Okay, and then we will get the by solving it we will get the final result. So this is my expression of del in spherical coordinate system. This is my desired result. Okay, now this is vector operator. Now when I use this vector operator with some scalar and vector, how they will behave, we will see that. This is gradient of scalar. So gradient of scalar field, V is a scalar, is a vector that represents both magnitude and direction of maximum space rate of increase of V. Okay, so for that let us assume this figure and let us consider two surfaces S1 and S2, where the function V has constant magnitude, and we can say magnitude differ by small amount dV or delta V. Now as one moves from S1 to S2 or P1 to P2 point, okay, the magnitude of spatial rate of change of V, that is dV by dl, depends on direction of elementary path, this dl, and the maximum occur when one traverse from S1 to S2 along a path normal to surfaces, if it is moving to normal to the surfaces, as in case of the distance is minimum. So the mathematical expression for gradient can be written by evaluating the difference in field of dV between P1 and P2, where V1, V2 and V3 are constant, on which V is constant. So from calculus, dV is dV by partial differentiation of V with respect to x into dx. Okay, similarly for y, similarly for z. Now I am just multiplying x, taking their unit vectors. Okay, from convenience, my dV by partial differentiation of V with respect to x in x direction is my gradient. So this expression is given, I am considering as gradient. Okay, then my dV is gradient dot dl, this is dot product. Okay, and this is length, differential length in Cartesian coordinate system. So I know by using dot product, G into dl is a two vector dot product, can be obtained by magnitude multiplied by cos theta. Okay, so dV by dl, where L is differential displacement from P1 to P2 and theta is the angle between G and dl. I will just erase it. So theta is angle between dl and g. Okay, so from equation we notice that dv by dl is maximum when theta is 0, because in that case cos theta is 1, and when dl is in direction of g, we can say that at that point I will have maximum rate of increase of v. Okay, where this dv by dn is my normal derivative. Thus g has its magnitude and directions as those of maximum rate of change of v. Okay, so by definition gradient g is the gradient of v, therefore it is given by differentiation, partial differentiation of v with respect to x into x direction. So this is the formula in Cartesian coordinate system for my gradient of scalar. Now expression for gradient in cylindrical coordinate is given by partial differentiation of v with respect to r plus means r hat plus 1 by r, partial differentiation of v with respect to phi hat plus partial differentiation of v with respect to z hat. Similarly in spherical coordinate system, so we have to remember these expressions. Next is properties of gradient. So the magnitude of gradient is equals to maximum rate of change in v per unit length, and even gradient of scalar points in the direction of maximum rate of change in v. We have seen that. Then gradient of scalar at any point is perpendicular to the constant v surface that passes through that point. Okay, and the projection of gradient in the direction of unit vector a is given by cross multiplication between them, is called directional derivative of v along a. And similarly, if a vector is gradient of v, then v is said to be scalar potential of a. Okay, and in this rate of change of v is the direction of a. For example, dv by dl is directional derivative of v along p1 and p2 in the figure. Thus the gradient of scalar function v provide us with both direction in which v changes most rapidly and the magnitude of maximum directional derivative of v. Okay, now second property of differential operator is if I multiply with vector, so that is called as diversion of vector. So in studies of vector field, directed line segments are called flux lines or streams lines, represented field variation graphically, and the intensity of field is proportional to the density of line. For example, number of flux lines passing through this unit S surface normal to the vector measure the field strength, vector field strength. And in space integral we have noticed that net flow of flux of vector field A from a closed surface is obtained by dot product of vector and space. Now we define diversion of A as net flow of outward flow of flux per unit volume over a closed surface incrementally change. So the diversion of A at a point P, I will just say that, is the outward flux per unit volume as the volume sinks about point P. Okay, so the operator del is of vector form now. So its scalar product can be obtained as our del operator dot product with vector, where delta V is the volume enclosed by closed surface in which P is located. Okay, I will just put these values of del operator dot product with vector. So when we multiply it, we get this value. So this is my diversion of vector. Okay, so how to evaluate the diversion of vector at point P? Suppose this is my point P, x naught, y naught and z naught, and the point is surrounded by differential volume. So we can obtain the expression for del dot A vector in Cartesian coordinate system from the definition in the equation. Suppose we wish to evaluate diversion of vector field at point P, we let point surrounded by differential volume in figure. The surface integral is obtained by front surface, okay, similarly the back surface integration, then left surface integration, right surface, top and bottom. So integrating of this surface. After some series of expansion, we get the diversion of A at point x, y and z naught in a Cartesian system given by this expression. Similar expression for del dot A vector in other coordinate system can be obtained directly by transforming equation into appropriate coordinate system. In coordinate system, it's yield like this expression. Similarly, we can obtain the diversion of A in spherical coordinate system. Okay. Now physically we may regard diversion of vector field A at any point, given point, measure of how much the field diverged or emanate from the point. So figure shows the diversion of a vector field of P in positive increase because the vector diverges at point P. Okay. Second figure, a vector field has negative diversion at P because it converges on this. Here it is diverging, so it is positive. Here it is converging, so it is negative diversion. Okay. In the third figure, vector field has no diversion at point P. So diversion of vector field can now also be viewed simply the limit of field source strength per unit volume or source density. So it is positive at source point in the field, negative at sink point, and 0 where there is neither sink nor source. Okay. So this is how diversion of vector is physically defined. Okay. So diversion of vector is nothing else counting vector into volume as negative or vector out of the volume as positive. So this is my positive, this is my negative. Okay. So this represents my diversion. Next property of diversion, it provides a scalar field. The diversion of scalar V makes no sense. Okay, we always diversion of vector. Diversion of scalar is of no sense. It obeys distribution property. Okay. Similarly, del dot scalar into vector will give me scalar quantity. Then del this is what? Diversion of A plus A vector dot product with gradient of V. Okay. So this formula is very important from numerical point of view. So these are properties of diversion. Now next is third operator on curl of vector. As we have seen in case of line integral, we define circulation of vector field A around closed path C as an integral. So the curl of A is an axial vector whose magnitude is maximum. Circulation of A per unit area, as the area tends to 0 and whose direction is normal to the direction of area when area is oriented so as to make the circulation maximum. Okay, so the curl is given by cross product between del operator and vector, that is defined as curl of vector. Okay, where delta S defines or is the area bounded by curve L, and as an is the unit vector normal to the surface, to this surface, it's normal to the surface, it is the surface area bounded by the curve. Okay, and is determined by right hand rule. So to evaluate the curl of vector A at point P, consider the differential area in the plane y and z as shown in this figure. So the line integral as A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A. Okay, we expand the field component in Taylor series expansion about the center point P and evaluate curl. I'm not doing the derivation part because it's very time consuming, so you can go through that in your mathematical subject, how you can derive that. So this is the curl of a vector. Okay, the physical significance of curl of vector is evident. The curl provides the maximum value of circulation of field per unit area and indicate the direction along which this maximum value occurs. So the curl of vector field A at point P may be regarded as maximum measure of circulation or how much the field curls around P. Okay, for example, shows that the curl of vector field around P is directed out of the page. Figure shows vector field with 0 curl. Okay. So now this is the formula in Cartesian coordinate system. Similarly, we can calculate in cylindrical and spherical coordinate system by transforming equation using point and vector transformation techniques. We can obtain curl in cylindrical coordinate system as well as spherical coordinate system. So at the end, what are the properties of curl? Curl of vector is another vector field. Similarly, the curl of scalar field make no sense. Then it obeys distributive properties. Then curl of cross product of A and B is obtained by this formula. Curl of constant into vector is obtained by this formula, and the diversion of curl of vector field vanish, that is diversion of vector field. This is curl, this is diversion, dot represent diversion, cross represent curl. So diversion of curl of vector field is 0. So I just want you to prove this, how it is true. Okay, so that's all for today's lecture. Thank you.